Hey Amazon sellers, are you curious to how I turned Q4 into my most successful quarters inside of Amazon, effectively making Amazon a multi-million-dollar playground? As we kick off the most exciting quarter inside of Amazon, let's take a deep dive into a 3-step process that I utilize in order to make sure I'm setting myself up for success. The third step in the process is the most important in my opinion, so make sure you're staying tuned throughout the video and getting all the information needed. If you're ready to achieve epic results, cheers. Now I've been selling on Amazon for almost 3 years now. And every Q4, I learned something new. But one thing remains constant, the importance of setting goals. Without goals, it's like taking a road trip across the country without a map. No GPS and no directions. Just like that road trip across the country, we're gonna wanna set very clearly defined goals. That way we're not driving blindly into Q4. So setting realistic goals for your brand is very important. I like to break down all the different KPIs in my business. I set goals for almost everything. An entrepreneur that really inspires me, not inside of the Amazon space, is Rob Dyrdek. He has a meticulous plan that he uses and tracks almost every single habit and action that he uses on a daily basis. I'm gonna show here on the screen just a breakdown of what his chart looks like. I've taken a lot of inspiration from how these successful entrepreneurs do it, and I also track almost every single habit that I have in order to figure out the habits that move the dial. First, I set my goals, and then I have to figure out what actions do I need to complete in order to accomplish those goals. Once I figure out those actions, then I compartmentalize them into daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, and my 5 and 10-year plans. Once we have clearly defined goals, we need to really pay attention to PPC. It's like the fuel for our Q4 engine. I always start by taking a look back. What were our top performing keywords in Q4 of last year, and what have been our most recent performing keywords of this year? Which ads had the highest conversions, which search terms are performing, and taking an overall audit of my PPC structure to make sure that we have a solid foundation to work off of. We wanna make sure that we're cognitive of our budgeting. Q4 is fierce when it comes to competition, and the bids for advertising can really skyrocket. I make sure to put my money into the keywords and advertising campaigns that are already performing well. This way I get the most out of my budget and make sure my ads are the best positioned. We wanna be putting the money where it matters the most and making sure we get the highest return on advertising. Inside of PPC, we wanna be precise. This is the part where I get super detailed and precise. Although I'm a very detail-oriented person, I get very granular during this phase. I break my audience down into even smaller groups and make sure my ads are seen by the people who are most interested. It's like on one of those old radios where you're trying to fine tune and catch the right frequency, and sometimes it takes a little bit of adjusting until you hear a perfect sound. It's the same with PPC. And on to my favorite part to make sure that you're hitting Q4 success, we wanna be on top of SEO. It's the secret sauce to organic visibility. First and foremost, I wanna make sure my listings are optimized. We go the extra mile to make sure these listings stand out. From using super sharp, crisp images to making sure that we are catering to the psychology of the consumer. For me, one of the main things I like to focus on is the main image. The main image is a crucial part in the Amazon journey. It's the first thing your buyer sees, and half the battle is really just getting that click. So I spend a lot of time, and during these holiday seasons, we can add in different effects inside of the listing, sometimes changing ribbons or enhancing a box so that it sticks out a little bit more than the competitors, really going the extra mile that others are not doing. There's a great tool that I use to find the best main images, and that is PickFu. I will have a link in the description. PickFu helps us sort between 2 different main images. This way we can actually get a full understanding of the consumer and what they're actually looking for and why. When I first started in Amazon, I used to make a lot of intuition-based decisions, and over the course of time, that cost me money. It's very important to make data-based decisions, and PickFu helps us get the data that we need in order to be successful on Amazon. On top of overall listing images, we wanna make sure that their lifestyle images are up to date and make sense. We wanna make sure that our customer is really resonating with our listing, and in order to do that, we wanna conduct full competitor analysis on and off of Amazon, and we want to get an understanding of review analysis and what customers are really looking for, what they don't like inside of the current sets of problems. That way you can get your benefits out to the customer and really market to them in the proper way. For instance, nobody really cares that this cup is made of a specific material. What they do care about is that it's resistant to breaking. So if you're marketing your image and you're writing, this is what material is, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it is useful information, but what is more useful is telling the consumer that you cannot break this glass. Now I know why I want to buy this glass because you can't break it. Some larger pointers to keep in mind: if your product is made in America, say it. Have it on your listing. It's a great conversion increase. I've noticed that products that don't have made in America and we put made of America on can see some serious lifts between 10 to 20% depending on the niche. Something that a lot of sellers overlook is the actual copy. What is written on the images, what's written in the listing. Yes, we want to make sure that we're including keywords, but the way you write things really influences the way it's delivered. For instance, if I say that all of my clients, I want to make life-changing money, okay, it's a good line. But what if I tell all my clients that we want to make wife-changing money? Resonate a little bit differently? Although that's just one random example, it goes to show you the impact that one word difference can have in how a sentence will make you feel on the inside. We want to make sure the listing is selling the consumer through the photo. And then on top of that, once that full journey is done without having any text on there, we want to add some killer text. As we go through, we want to make sure that we're tracking our metrics and seeing what is working for us and what we want to double down on. I keep a close eye on all my metrics for myself and my clients. We look through click-through rates, organic rates, market share for keywords, tons and tons of data that Amazon provides us that will help us accelerate our ability to scale, that will help position us in the best place possible. So fellow sellers, make sure that we're setting realistic Q4 goals and make sure we utilize the right tools to get there. If you'd like my team to come in and do a free audit and give you actionable step-by-step processes that can take your listing to the next level, you can book a call down below. I will go through and create a very in-depth strategy for you and share actionable insights for you to scale. Although you can be a successful seller, sometimes you get siloed in your own ways, and having another seller review your strategy and give you an outside viewpoint can sometimes be the difference between breaking 100 to 200K a month. You can book that meeting by clicking the link in the bio.